Hello everyone, here we are with the third, I believe it's the third video in our series of talking about the Donny Cates run of Venom comics. This time we're going to go over Venom, the War of the Realms, Absolute Carnage, and Venom, Absolute Carnage. I have a lot of notes and not a lot of time, so I'm just going to get to it. First off, the War of the Realms. It picks up after the Abyss and is sort of a tie-in to, I guess, some event that is probably part of another series. I'm not entirely sure, but basically, Dark Elves have invaded Earth, and Venom gets caught up in that, even though he doesn't have the Venom symbiote on him at the time of the event. I found it interesting how even after being separated from the symbiote, when a Dark Elf Witch gives Eddie the chance to create some kind of weapon to defend himself against, the army that's invading, like, he goes straight back to the symbiote. Really kind of proving how dependent on it he's become ever since getting it however long ago he got it in the comics. Although it was interesting that now it was just sort of his voice in his head and having to deal with all that. And also, I did really dig, see if I can find it here, his Warrior of Malekith look. See if I can find a good version. There we go. I really like that look. So anyway, that's pretty much all I had for that one. On to Absolute Carnage, which that book was the gem in this reading that I did. I do have one question, though, and that is, apparently Venom can walk around without a host now? Like, there's a panel of, like, him, saving Eddie. He was wearing people clothes, and he wasn't, using a body. So, when did that become a thing? Tons of Venom fighting Carnage, which, yes, please. I love watching the two of them go at it. I will say, in terms of, design for characters, the null version of Carnage, Cletus looked like something straight out of a horror movie. And I'm not gonna lie, I kinda dug it. And speaking of psychopaths, Red Goblin, which I became aware of fairly recently, basically Norman Osborn after he got a hold of the Carnage symbiote. If we could get, first of all, I want an animated movie of this whole thing. But if we could get a version of that Norman Osborn played by Willem Dafoe, so he could just be even more crazy than he normally is as Norman Osborn, I'm all for it. Like I said, I definitely want to see, an animated version of Absolute Carnage. So many good symbiote fights that I would love to just sit back and watch. And, of course, back to the whole, Venom versus Carnage. Later on in the book, slight spoilers, but later on in the book, there is a god-like Carnage and Venom combo versus a Venom that is made out of multiple symbiotes. Once again, yes, please. Please give me more of this. And this book quickly became one of my new favorites. And then finally we get to Venom Volume 3, Absolute Carnage, which is sort of the side story of what was going on with this kid Dylan, who has been palling around with Eddie Brock ever since Volume 2. Not gonna spoil what's going on with that, because that was a shock to me. But one of the early issues before it takes us to what Dylan was doing during Absolute Carnage, Eddie questions whether or not it was the symbiote that made him as a person worse, or if his bad traits and personality kind of made the symbiote bad. I've kind of always had this question when it came to Venom and the symbiote. I mean, obviously, depending on which version you're going with, he's kind of written to be a villain, and then later an anti-hero. But it has always been a question in my mind. It's does the host obviously the symbiote has an impact on the host, but does the host have an impact on the symbiote as well? We kind of can get some of an answer, given that they were created by this, dark, evil god. But still. We get a lot more of an alternate version of Reed Richards known as the Maker in that book. And honestly, that dude is a freaking sociopath. And it's probably a good thing that for the most part, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, is normally a good guy. He'd be probably scarier if he wasn't. Overall, I did like the book, and I like the progression of the character dynamics between Eddie, Venom, and Dylan. And now with Carnage out of the way, and Null being the next, main villain coming in this run that I'm aware of. Again, I've still got a few more books. I do look forward to seeing what's in store for all of these characters, especially since Dylan's a little weird. Not gonna get into it. Like I said, you guys should definitely check out these books for yourselves. And I believe that's all I've got. I will see y'all in the next video.